game. Well, hold the fuck up. What's going on in back? Hold on. The fuck? Hold on. What is going on? Should be back now. I don't know what the fuck happened there. My software crashed. Hold on. I should be back. Everything should be good. Granted, everything is working well. Let's see. Yeah, we should be all right. Sorry about that. I normally don't have issues like that, but today I did. I guess it is what it is. Fuck it. Anyway, what's going on? I hope you guys are doing all right today. Let me know if everything is... You can hear it all right. You can see it all right. I know we had a little bit of problems, a little bit of struggling starting off. I do want to say what's up to the beautiful Mandy Lee, Miss Kitty, Brian, Shitballs, RBJ. Brian said, like the Saw theme moves. Yeah, fuck my shit up, though. I don't know what was going on. Hope you guys are all right, guys. Today is May 26, 2025. It is right around 11 a.m. And, guys, we're going to get into a case today. We're going to be talking about this. And this is day one of me coming over here full time, giving you guys content every single day. Hopefully a stream every single day. It depends on how well this over here becomes worth it for me. But in the end, I'm kind of switching some things up. I want to put more effort into this channel, and that is what my intentions are going to be. Plus, we got the Kohlberger trial coming up, maybe. And so I'm going to be putting at least probably 8 to 10 hours on this channel during the Kohlberger trial. So kind of is what it is. Kind of a rocky start there. Good morning, E-Bone. Hope you're doing good. Kitty, hope you're doing well. Today we're going to be talking about a missing chick out of Utah. We're going to be talking about that. We're going to talk about some Kohlberger shit as well. I will wait for everybody to get on in here. Oh, shit. My boy Upgrade done hit the tip jar with $50 a bomb to start things off. Thank you, brother. Thank you, Upgrade. I hope you're out in the chat. Be real. What's going on, brother? Shitballs, what's going on? He says, damn, out again. Something up with this today? Yeah. No. What do you mean? So what's out again? No, I should be live right now. Yeah, there was a problem earlier. Thank you, Upgrade, by the way. Appreciate you. I didn't even change the fucking date. Look at my lazy ass. I ain't shit. I ain't about shit. We're going to talk about a couple things. I don't know if you guys have heard about this case out of Utah. I'm sure a lot of you have, because a lot of you guys follow true crime. It's fucking wild, man. It is wild. And I don't know about you guys, if you're fathers or not, or parents at all. It's one of the most scary things that I think can happen to someone. Thank you, Upgrade. I see you out there, brother. Thank you very much for getting us kicked off. And by the way, you guys can support the show by hitting the links down below or the pinned comment to join Upgrade and supporting the show. To the people that watch my other channels, I will be live there a little bit later. But obviously, I wanted to start off with coffee and crime with these folks, and that's the way we're going to do it. So hopefully you guys are all having a good one. What's up, Texas Ranger? We'll let more people come in before we get really started, but I do want to kind of elaborate on the Idaho 4 for a little bit. I do want to talk about the Idaho 4 for just a second. I do want to announce that Steve Gonsalvez's family page is back up. Let me pull this back. What the fuck is wrong with me? I do want to announce. I do want to let you guys know that Steve Gonsalvez's family page is back up. You know, there's a lot of people that wanted it down for whatever reason. I'm a free speech absolutist. So for me, when we're talking about Steve Gonsalves, when we're talking about anything like that, I think they have the right to have their social media, the same as all of us have the right to have our YouTube and criticize the case. We can criticize the roommates. We can criticize Brian Koberger. We can criticize Steve Gonsalves. So I think the Gonsalves family has the same right. And I've been seeing a lot of people on here like, no, I'm glad the page got taken down. I'm glad the page got taken down. And my question is why? It's not taken down now because what you guys, whoever flagged them for, they flagged them for impersonation. How the fuck they going to impersonate themselves? You did it because your claims that there was violent threats coming from Steve Gonsalves was unfounded. And I just want to make this clear, but as we start today's stream, that when you're in the right, you don't have to lie. You don't have to make shit up at all. And you can simply scroll down the Gonsalves family page and see nothing, no threats whatsoever. But I saw something you guys claimed was a threat, and I just want to show you what it is. This right here, death row shirt. Them cheering on Brian Koberger getting death row is not a threat to anyone, nor is it even a threat to Brian Koberger. Happy Memorial Day. Yeah, I also want to say the same thing to anybody that comes in or sees this on a replay. If you have served this fantastic country at any point in time, I thank you very much. Demon Dog is in here. He said the G family is like McRib, doesn't need to be seasonal. Yeah, I mean, my take on this, right? And I think a lot of us in the true crime, or a lot of us on YouTube, period, or the internet, period, I think we fail to remember that these are real people, man. These are real people dealing with real, what do you mean, oh, poor Jimmy? What's up, Bobby? These are real people out here dealing with real shit. And even if you think Brian Koberger is innocent, which I can respect that, I don't understand. There's no reason to attack the families. None. Because I'll tell you what you're not doing. You're not attacking the other parents. You guys get all mad at Steve Gonsalves because he collects money, because he does all this. But I noticed that nobody is mentioning the fact that, that Cornoto's mom is collecting money. Nobody mentioned that Madison Mogan's mom or parents are collecting money. I'm curious, and I mean this wholeheartedly, and we'll get into that a little bit later. We're going to start off with the missing girl once people get in here. What's up? Turn the page. My question is why does everybody have a problem with Steve Gonsalves collecting money, but no one mentions the $43,000 that the Mogans have raised? Nobody is mentioning the fact at all, or be bothered at all by the fact that Xana's mom is now raising money. Nobody has said anything about any of that, but you continuously hear, Miss Kitty, what is your deal? Just reload the page, weirdo. Shit. I mean, shit. I've already said that, but anyway, whatever, man. Anyways, it's not, I mean, so whatever, man. She's still stuck from the shit. That was like 5 minutes ago. But anyways, I honestly don't understand all the hate pointed at Steve Gonsalves. Is it because he thinks Brian Koberger did it? I mean, big deal. Big deal. I don't understand at all. We'll get into all that here in just a little bit, though, because there is another case that I want to kind of put the focus on. There is some things I want to talk about. I'll give you in fact, let's just do it this way. All right, so when it comes to this case, this is a 15-year-old girl that was dropped off. She went to school. But instead of leaving school, she went to go meet someone she met off the internet. And I don't know about you guys, but for I think most fathers, this is the biggest fear. Well, most parents, period. Most parents, she either ran off with someone she met online or a legal criminal got her. I agree. What's up, Gigi? How you doing, beautiful? I 100% feel as if she actually made it to Vegas. I 100% feel that she made it to her killer's arms. And we'll get to some of the news and regarding this here in just a second. By the way, so the people Yes, we had a technical difficulty at the beginning of the stream. Just reload the stream. Just refresh the stream. No big deal. It's no big deal. Oops, just got here. So online figured. No. We're going to get to this because that's exactly what I believe happened. And there's two men arrested, and I'm going to show you why they were arrested. We're going to get into all of this here in just a second. So basically, like I said, we have the Utah girl missing. Let's go ahead and take a look at some of the initial videos that snags happen. Yes. Let's take a look at the initial videos that started this entire story. This story is about 2 weeks old. It's actually a little bit more than that, but the internet predators, of course. Why does this keep happening? Everyone knows this happens, but it keeps happening. Well, I got an answer to this. It's because everybody puts the internet in their kids' hands. Everybody puts smartphones in their kids' hands and says, my kid's not going to do this shit. Everybody puts an iPad in their kids' hands and they say, my kid, this is not going to happen to my kid. Ain't it really crazy? And I mean this. Back in the day, when I was young, we would trick or treat until midnight. We would be out and your parents would just tell you, come home when the street lights come on if you lived in the city. In rural areas, fuck, they didn't even care like that. And nobody rarely even got kidnapped or fucked up or anything. But now with the internet, you got to realize, man, with the phones that our kids have, with the internet that our kids have, the social media that our kids have, they're constantly able to interact with people. Whereas before, it was a lot different. So they could plan something like this. My kids won't get smartphones till they're older. They'll get dumb phones. Yeah. And everybody thinks that their daughter, their kid won't do the shit. Everybody thinks their kid's an angel. And so they're like, my kid is clearly doing Bible studies on the phone. And it's not true. Because especially if you're talking about little girls seeking attention, in my opinion, they're more vulnerable with this shit than boys are. My brother nearly lost his daughter because her mom gave her a phone at 14. My bro took that away. Yeah. There's absolutely no reason in the world, in my opinion, for a teenager or young adolescent to have a phone, full internet, or social media. I don't believe children should have social media at all, not Twitter. Because anybody that's been on Twitter, you know there's fucking porn on there, right? Hey, Brian sent 20. He said, thanks for all you do. Thank you, brother. Thank you to Brian for the PayPal, man. Thank you so much, Brian. Appreciate you, man. Very much so. Very much so. But no, I mean, it's almost, look, and I know I joke around and I fuck around a lot and I talk a lot of shit. I do all of this. But in situations like this with children has always been important to me. Like, I don't understand the looseness that exists with parenting. And so when something like this happens, I do blame it on the parents. Gigi says, JB, do you know if you can mirror an iPad so you can see everything while it's happening? I think you can, much like you can mirror an iPhone. You know how you can mirror an iPhone to where it'll show up on your TV or your computer? In my opinion, I think you could do the same thing with an iPad. In fact, why don't we do this? Why don't we check it out real quick? Why don't we go to Grok real quick and why don't we ask? Why don't we ask, can a parent mirror a kid's iPad so they can monitor it? Why don't we just check it out? I'm pretty positive you can, but let's look. Hey, Mandy, my daughter's iPhone is on my iPad Live. Yeah. Yep, right here. Yes, parents can mirror their children's iPad to monitor their activities using various methods and apps. So there are apps you can do with screen mirroring, Flash Get Kids, other apps, Net Nanny, QStudio, Bark. There's a few of them here. So yeah, if you go to Grok and Google how to do it, I would definitely do this. If I had children with iPhones or iPads, it would definitely be something I'd be interested in doing. Mandy says, I have her iCloud signed in on my iPad, and that's a smart move too, Mandy. That's a smart move too. And let's be honest, man. Let's be honest. By the way, thank you, Brian, man. Appreciate you, man. Very much so. The problem is, if you don't give your kid a phone when all their friends have one, they rebel and hold it against parents. See, that's the problem. No, the problem is that parents are worried about that. You know what I mean? When I was young, what's up, Glitter? When I was young, who cares if they would be mad? Exactly. That's the problem. Everybody wants to be the kid's friend. When I was young, my parents, grandparents, whoever it was, would say the exact phrase, I'm the fucking parent, not your friend. And they wouldn't care if I got mad. You know what I mean? I want the new Nintendo game. Well, you're going to have to fucking work for it, boy. Like, and she's so pretty. I'm so scared. People think I'm paranoid. No, it's not paranoia. You are trying to protect your daughter. No phone, maybe ever, but I'm even colder than y'all with it. Like daughters and girls are not allowed to date in my house. If they want to date, they got to wait till they move out. I will allow them prom night. Chaperoned. Like, never in my house has a child dated. I do not allow it. It will not happen. Just as much as you're doing what you're supposed to do as a parent. Yeah. Look. And a lot of people say, well, you're sheltering them, you're keeping them from shit. Yeah, I'm keeping them from dangerous shit. No, my children are not ever going to date in my house if there's a house like that, because I don't want them to fuck. Dating leads to fucking. I started fucking at 12 years old. And the chicks that I was fucking, even though the first one was 17, when I was 12, 13, 14, 15, I was fucking 12, 13, 14, 15-year-olds. So why would I want that? You know what I mean? Why would any parent want that? Prom night is the worst, but not if you chaperone it. You don't let them go out by themselves, keeping them from pedophiles and other crap. Yeah. I don't do sleepovers. I don't allow, I've never allowed any kids I've had to stay the night at somebody else's house. If they have a friend, they can stay in the night here. But you see what I'm saying? That's my job, Jesus' morals and protecting while I can from this earthly sickness. Unapologetic, absolutely. And so then it's because of these stories right here, man. And so, who was that? Was that shitball? Is that what they said? Oh, no, it was Demon Dog. Yeah, who cares if if your kids like you, or if they're mad at you? Kids do lie. Kids do lie. Well, Kitty, as a man, I've always been really careful with that. I've let boys have sleepovers here, not here per se. I've never let a girl do it. Do you understand because to me, I don't want anybody else's daughter in my house. You see what I'm saying? I don't want anyone else's daughter in my house. I drink and shit like that. I don't want any goofiness. I like to be able to cuss when I want, talk how I want. And I don't want any goofiness. And I definitely don't want no lies to happen. It's just, for a man, that's scary. So I don't even allow chicks in girl, you know what I mean? You can't be it's just not going to happen. But that's just me. I'm super paranoid. Bobby says, hell, I couldn't even close the door to my room. I did it once and my mom and dad removed my door. Absolutely. No, it's 100% right. That's 100% right. I lost too much to handle, so I lost my virginity at 13 to a 19-year-old. Yeah, that's crazy. And how did that happen? Too much to handle. How were you ever alone? How were you alone with a 19-year-old? That's what I would like to ask you, Too Much to Handle. How were you alone at 13 years old with a 19-year-old man? How did that ever happen? My daughter's friends comes by, I leave the house. Exactly, Bobby. Because you don't want to get caught up in that shit at all. Ever. Said my sister? Yeah, no. So what do you mean? It was your sister that fucked you? That seems weird. That seems a little strange. You sound like a 19-year-old needs hands put on him? Yeah, exactly. Some shit like that. 100%. 100%. Here we go. So we'll start. We'll dive into this story a little bit and continue. Definitely, we'll continue with you guys in the chat. Gigi says, "I'm not her friend. Technically, her grandmother, legally adoptive mother. But once I got over not being able to be grandmother, I'm protector and guidance, not her friend." Absolutely. Look, maybe I'm different than you guys. I did at 15, and my friend's older brother. Yeah, that's how it should have worked. Successfully, job done. Bingo. So, kind of here's my take on this shit. Like, what was I about to say? Damn, I forgot what I was about to say. I don't believe in being a friend. I don't believe in them even having a say so. Like, I'm one of those parents that if the kid comes to you and says, "Hey, what's for dinner?" Food. You know what I'm saying? I'm that exact type of parents. "Dad, what's for dinner?" Food. When's dinner? When you eat. No bullshit. Even if she hates me, job done. Yeah. No. And I think that's one of the biggest mistakes people make is trying to be the cool mom or the cool dad. No. I think that being the cool mom and the cool dad separates you from being a disciplinarian and a parent. And I think being a disciplinarian, I think it's the dad's job, but let's just say it's, dad's a fuck up or whatever. I think that ultimately your job is to, and everybody's like, you're a controlling parent. That's what a parent's job is to do, is to control people, control kids. That's your job. It's your whole job as a parent. If you trap a 19-year-old down today, he's probably a father of some kids. He molested these people to be called out. Absolutely. So let's get back into this. Give you a little bit about how this story started. We'll take a look at it. And yeah, this is one of the fucking scariest things about being a parent is something like this happening.
Now, parents of a missing South Jordan teen are hoping for any sign that she is okay. It's been nearly 2 weeks since she was last.
Miss Kitty said, "How do I feel about looking through kids' stuff?" Kids don't have stuff. That's the answer to your question. Kids don't have stuff. Like I tell everybody in my house, everything in this house belongs to me. Everything in this house belongs to me. Kids didn't buy shit. Kids don't own shit. Kids don't own drawers. Kids don't own a purse. Brian says you can't let younger kids have say. Unfortunately, they just don't have mental capacity to make good decisions. Yeah, that's also why I don't let kids rummage through the refrigerator. I don't let them just grab anything they want to eat. They must eat at the kitchen table. The reason for that is for several reasons. Kids don't have the mentality to make judgmental decisions. If you give kids the chance to drink 13 sodas a day, kids will drink 13 sodas a day. If you let them rummage through the refrigerator, they're going to fucking eat something that mom has planned for dinner. Maybe they'll see pepperonis in the thing and eat them up as a little snack. And it was meant for the pizzas mom was going to make later. Glitter says, and that's what I tell mine. To everything is mine. To my house, you don't have any rights except to be fed, clothes, and house. Exactly. What's up, Kim? I also say this is a dictatorship. My house is Nazi Germany, and I am Hitler in here. I run this fucking program. And it's always been that way. Gigi says, "Hey, you are crafting a human who will one day be in charge of changing your diapers." Exactly. Or deciding your care and where you live. It's important that they are able-minded and have the fortitude and morals. Absolutely. I think, I've been under fire. Like growing up as a parent, I had creative fucking punishments. I believed in putting kids in the corner. I come from a different era where I wasn't a big spanker because I did other punishments. Like you'll fucking stand in the corner and you'll grab your ankles. I'm that type of motherfucker. Like I fuck with them here, cause I already know. I'm not the type of parent that's gonna take a belt and cause I know my own strength. I already know my strength, and I already know my temper. So I'm not big on like spankings, anything like that. But I am big on punishments, 100%. I'm big on punishments. But by the way, I don't think there's anything wrong with spankings. Like I've always let the mom do it because if I spank somebody, it's going to hurt. And I know it's going to hurt. So I rather, do other shit. That sounds like some Ruby Frank stuff. What is that? Glitter says, same JB. My oldest son poked a hole in the school bus seat. He was about 5th grade. So I took him to bus bar every single day after school for a week so he can clean out buses. So that's a perfect punishment, creative punishment. I was very creative ways with punishment. I was a single mom with 4 kids. Yeah. And I also think that generations and age make a difference. Us Gen Xers, we grew up different than most people. Like the millennials and the Gen Zers, they got real soft, man. Like they don't even punish their kids. They're like, you should be able to talk to them. No, that's not the way it works. I think that the older people are. We come from like I grew up where a motherfucker would go get the switch, the tree limb, and tear your ass up. That's how I grew up. Plenty of times. Extension cords, no matter what. I mean, like, I grew up with some shit. But I look back at it now and I'm like, it was a good generation. I'm old as fuck. Plus, my dad was a career Marine, super strict, was the only daughter. Yeah. My mom would make me go get my own switch. Exactly 70. Bingo. That's the walk of shame, right? When you gotta go get your own fucking switch, absolutely. All these kids understand is violence. I think so. But I also think there's other ways you can mentally fuck with them. But I do think 5-year-old brother, excuse me, let me see what Gigi wrote. My girl isn't allowed to sleep over anywhere. There are over 5 brothers in the house. Also, only 2 friends she's allowed to. 1 mom is CPS. And the other, no dad, single mom, and no other siblings. There's nothing wrong with that. Yeah, the tree switch is a motherfucker. No, I mean, I grew up where, what do they call it? Corporal punishment? What do they call that shit? Yeah, no, everybody got their ass whooped. But when I got, because I've typically always been a stepdad, I had my kids that I raised. But because I've always been a stepdad, as I've gotten older, I went away from that because I don't feel right doing it. Like, I don't feel right spanking a kid that's not mine. Even though I should be free to do it, I don't have the right. I don't feel right doing it, if that makes sense. JB, I was only kidding saying Ruby Franks, but speaking of her, jot that down on a topic to discuss on the new channel. Look her name up real quick. All right, I will definitely write that down. Let me see here. I'll put it over here. I'll definitely put it over here. Ruby Franks. Oh, the vlogger chick. Yeah, and that's another thing. By the way, when it comes to like these vlogging families, some of them get some bad, like a bad rep for no reason. I just want to say, but I also think it's their fault for broadcasting their life every day. But let's be honest. If we broadcast everything that goes on in our house, every way that we parent, every way we are in a relationship, people would have problems with it no matter what. You know what I mean? Listen, you could do something as simple as broadcast your normal morning routine, and somebody would have something to complain about it with. You know what I mean? I think these family YouTube channels are foolish as fuck, are dumb as fuck. Why would you do that to your family? Why would you even fucking, you know what I mean? Like, it seems dumb. But kids wanting to the school counselor get CPS, and yeah, they do. Let's see here. Dope Soul says, I put a dish plate in the plants once so it wouldn't hurt when my tree switch hit. That didn't go over well. Ended up getting it worse once she realized the plate was there. Yeah, no, we all tried them tricks, right? We all tried to double up our underwear, double up our sweatpants, whatever. It never worked. They always were like, hold the fuck on. Why is this so padded? Yeah, we've all been there. Brian says, I'm Gen X as well, JB. Whipping was the way we all got punished, but I totally get the stepdad thing. I'm a stepdad myself and have my own kids. I feel exactly like you on that. Yeah, but also it's because the times have changed. If I was a stepdad 40 years ago, I would spank them. You got to remember, we grew up at times where you get paddled at school. Like, you understand what I'm saying? If a teacher tried to paddle a kid right now in school, that teacher would go to jail. Am I lying? But I can't tell you how many times I got my ass paddled. What's up, Sarah? The beautiful Sarah joining us. If we all broadcast all our lives, we'd all be in jail. Yeah. Like, I grew up being paddled at school, and it kept me straight. I made straight A's all the way till I was a fucking sophomore. My dad would say, I'm going to wear you out and mention it. Yeah, exactly. Exactly. And yeah, back then, the most powerful thing you could say is, don't make me tell your dad. You know what I mean? Today, that shit doesn't exist. Glitter said, I went to high school in Western Kentucky, right on the other side of the Tennessee border. And still to this day, they paddle at the school. And it should be, I like it that way. I think it's, now don't get me wrong, there's some fucked up teachers. But I don't know, I just grew up at a different time where paddling at school was normal, man. And I think it did me well. I honestly think it did me well because while I was in school, it had me behaving. I got paddled in school, never graduated. That works for some doesn't work at all. Yeah. Said, remember that cartoon, Wait Till Your Father Gets Home? Yeah, I just think, I think that's, in a good family household with well-raised children and good discipline, I think that's the biggest threat you could give them. Don't make me tell your daddy. And in my opinion, in a well-raised, to me, that's ideal. So I never got paddled. My brother got paddled enough for both. Yeah. Man, that's how you know it's crazy. I bet you if you asked most kids today, what's up, dog lover? They would, like, the thought of a parent having a paddle or a teacher having a paddle to whip their kids would freak this generation out. So let me get this straight. You have a big piece of wood, hard wood that you whip the children with? Yeah, it's called paddling. Amanda says, yeah, she would make the kids stand in the scorching sun holding heavy-ass boxes for hours at a time. Yeah, that's a little extreme. Yeah, I mean, that's a little extreme. I don't think standing in the corner is extreme. Well, okay, let's talk about this, Amanda. So you don't like those kind of punishments. I would assume you don't like them getting whipped either. I had my ass tore up many times, yeah. So maybe my assumption's wrong, Amanda. I'll let you tell me. But if you can't punish them like that and you can't whip them, what exactly do you do? How exactly do you punish children? You know what I mean? Sirius said in my day, the teacher would have the paddle hanging on the wall behind the desk. Bingo. Exactly. They would use it in front of the class on anyone acting out in line. Yeah. Standing in the corner is 100% a legit form of punishment. Yeah. No, yeah. You get them a little pain in the legs. That's number one. Plus, they look embarrassed. They hate standing looking at the corner. They can't see nothing. They can't do nothing. They hate that shit. They hate that shit. And I always did it in a room where I was watching TV. So they can hear the TV. They want to watch what's on TV, but they can't turn around and watch it. I had a wooden spoon I called the weapon of ass destruction. Usually I just had to smack it on the counter. Bingo. It is embarrassing. So back into this. My mom whipped me with a belt once and hit everything but my ass. Yeah. Well, and I'm going to be honest. Today has made it to where none of that could happen. Because that's the point. When your mom would whip your ass, you'd have welts all over the place because you were always squirming and missing. I feel bad for parents today because if they go to whip their children and the kid squirms and shit and they end up with a welt on their leg, that parent's going to jail. I think parents should be able to put their children in place like back in the day. My parents made the sound of a whip belt snap, and it never did go any further. Some kids, it has to go further. I also lied to my kids, y'all. I had them believing their tongue turned black if they lied. The worst whippings were when you got out the shower. Oh, yeah, of course. Yeah, no, the CPS thing is definitely a problem. You can leave welts, no bruises here in Georgia. Yeah, well, bruises make sense. Because if we're talking about bruises, we're talking about high impact. Welts, different. I like that we can leave welts in Georgia. I didn't know that. But yeah. Yeah, no doubt. I haven't really engaged with children like that in so long now. As like a stepfather figure or father figure, I've been pretty much disconnected because I don't like the way shit goes. Being a parent, a real parent today, is fucking illegal. As a guardian ad litem for our DPS children, a lot of claims never go past being a mandated report. Yeah. So back to this. We've talked a lot about parenting, and this is the reason why. This beautiful 15-year-old girl, she decided to get on the fucking internet on her her secret iPad and her secret Instagram account. And more than likely, that lack of supervision from her parents and this allowance to be on all these fucking devices is probably, to be perfectly honest, and I always tell you guys this at the beginning of a story, I give you what I think happened. I think this girl's dead, even though she's missing. I think we will find out at the end of this that this girl is dead. I do believe this. Now, here goes the story.
Scene. News Special Sandra Adams spoke to the parents who are concerned about a host of possibilities, including that she may have been lured away or even trafficked. Andrew?
Dan, they're hoping that it isn't the worst case scenario, but they say this isn't like their daughter at all after she walked away from school here in American Fork.
The teacher said she never seen her that day.
It began on April 21st.
She entered the building. She didn't make it to the classroom.
Instead of attending classes here in American Fork or simply grabbing a snack at the neighboring gas station, 15-year-old Alisa Petrov told two boys about her plan to run away.
They tell her, no, don't do it, but I guess she went away for it anyway.
Olga and Nikolai Petrov say their daughter then hitched a ride to this train station and got off the train in Provo.
She asked the girl to get her a ticket in exchange of cash for the bus to Las Vegas.
Now, whoever bought this girl that ticket in exchange for cash should go to jail. If it comes out that this girl is dead, which I think she is, whoever bought her that fucking train ticket needs to go to jail. I'm sorry. You would go to jail for buying a kid a 40 ounce a drink. And that's a lot less dangerous than buying a child a bus ticket or a train ticket.
Lisa hasn't been seen since.
They couldn't even sleep, for the whole week.
Exactly, man.
The Petrovs say in the past 6 months, they did have a talk about interacting with strangers online.
Discord, but I think she was using Snapchat, TikTok. We told her, do you know this person? Do you know this person? If not, we were deleting them, right?
Though Alisa was always on.
So here's what I don't get. Okay, your kids watch YouTube or TikTok. What reason in the world would you have for your kids to have Snapchat? It is crazy, Chloe. Look, I am 44 and I don't have Snapchat, and I'm going to tell you why. Because Snapchat is pointless unless you're just going to send dick pics that you want to disappear. Hoes and dudes use Snapchat to send pictures that's going to disappear. Messages that's going to disappear. I'm just being honest. I could never fathom why a child wouldn't need Snapchat. Libby and Abby, yeah. Same type of shit.
Her phone. including that final Sunday on the ski slopes. The parents say there's been no activity on social media in nearly 2 weeks' time, and the teen hasn't responded to messages. They now fear she may have even been lured away or trafficked.
That's what we're suspecting at the moment.
Oh, there's
we
way
have no
more.
confirmation,
There's way more coming.
But concerns are
way more.
Mom says South Jordan police are looking into those possibilities and others that could have taken her to Vegas or parts unknown.
If she's in Las Vegas, it might be really dangerous. Like somebody can abuse her. It's very bad.
Until they find her.
The whole life is upside down right now.
The Petrovs are simply hoping for Alisa's safety.
Oh, wait, there's more, because there's people arrested, and wait till you see some of the chats. We'll get to that.
Return.
We need her back. We miss her.
The parents say they had checked Alisa's phone recently prior to her disappearance, and there was really nothing that would point to this. South Jordan police are characterizing her as a runaway who is endangered. Anybody with information as to her whereabouts is asked to contact law enforcement immediately. Back to you guys.
Yeah, very tough case. Our hearts go out to that family. Thanks a lot. Andrew Adams live for us tonight.
All right, so that's part one of this, right? We got more, because there has been an update in this hunt for the 15-year-old. And let me go ahead and show you a little bit of information before we continue forward. Let me go ahead and do this real quick for you guys. The person that we're talking about here is Alisa. She is 15. She is 5'3", 122 pounds, brown hair, brown eyes. She was last seen April 21st. So this is over a month ago. She was missing 2 weeks before this even became a fucking story. She was missing 2 weeks before this even became a thing that we knew about. Allegedly. I mean, essentially. There have been 2 pedophiles arrested and charged for this. We'll see it here in just a second.
Oh, thanks for joining us this afternoon. We are starting with breaking news coming out of South Jordan. Police there giving us an update on the search for a 15-year-old girl that's been missing almost a month now.
Specialist Garna Mejia joins us live with new information about 2 men facing charges connected to her disappearance. Garna?
Yeah, Deanie and Debbie, we're hearing from South Jordan police that both of these suspects were in contact with 15-year-old Alisa Petrov the day she disappeared. Now, here's the thing. They both live in different states. We'll start with suspect number 1, 37-year-old William Taylor Glines. He's in...
This is the shit I'm talking about. If you give your little girl an iPhone or an iPad, she's going to be on there talking to motherfuckers that look like this. Talking to motherfuckers that look like this. And by the way, just so you, hold on. Just so you see the other suspect, this is the other suspect. Your little girl is going to be online talking to these fucking goobers. And by the way, I always laugh because everybody always thinks I look so evil. No, I'm actually a really normal looking motherfucker. It's those people. I look violent. You can tell by looking at these guys, they're going to diddle some kids. You can tell right off by just looking at them, there's going to be kid diddling going on. Clearly. Knock off Kohlberger. What's up, Aaron? What's up, Blurry Face? Hope you're doing good. This is crazy shit. But yeah, this is why I don't believe in the kids having the fucking devices, man.
Custody in Texas. Now, police say that on the day she went missing, she was apparently borrowing a stranger's phone at a bus stop and sent a text message.
Yes, listen. In fact, let me pull this up. Let's look at what I got. This image as well. Let's see what they got him on. They got him on online solicitation of a minor, municipal hold, possession of child pornography. This is crazy. These people exist and they're all online. Kids today are literally handed a phone before they're a year old. Yeah, we got to stop that shit. We got to stop that shit.
to Glines. Glines is facing several counts, including aggravated sexual exploitation of a minor. And according to court documents, he knew that Alisa Petrov was underage. The second suspect is 35-year-old Matthew Nicholas Menard of Florida. He is facing similar charges.
And Menard is still gone. Menard, let me tell you something. Menard is by the way, these are two different dudes that didn't even know each other. I'm going to show you some of the chat shit like this. These are two different dudes. One was in Texas, one's in Florida. One's in Houston, one's in Miami. The one that's in Miami is the one she was going to go see in Vegas. He said, I'm going to be in Vegas on a business trip. And for some reason, this 15-year-old in Utah, he's like, yeah, just get a bus, come down here. Wait till you see what there's other things that he said. And he's the one, the dude that went to Vegas, the dude that probably killed her is the guy that's not even in jail. The dude that got arrested was just some dude that was having chats with her, probably wanting to do the same thing. I mean, the dude in Texas should be in jail. Jenks, what's going on? Good to see you, brother. The dude in Texas should be in jail. But the real scary one is the dude that hasn't been arrested yet. Because that's probably the dude she met in Vegas and probably the dude that killed her.
Now, search warrants indicate that Menard sent Alisa messages about meeting in Las Vegas, going to Los Angeles, and ending up in Florida. It is unclear if Menard is in custody. Alisa has not been found, and police are urging the public to call them with any tips, information.
And just so you see, I'm going to show you. Let me show you some of the things from the probable cause. Let me show you right here. Is he on the lam? He is now. Here's the probable cause. In April 2025, a child whose identity is known to law enforcement went missing. Law enforcement began an investigation into CV1's whereabouts. The National Center for Missing and Exploited Children located a social media account for CV1, which showed CV1, as the child, had been communicating with defendant Matthew Nicholas Menard. This is the guy that's on the lam, so to speak, via the social media internet application. Defendant verified at different points throughout this conversation with CV1 that he was aware CV1 was a minor. At one point, defendant asked CV1, "Are you secretly 15? LOL. To which she responded, "What the fuck? Of course, yeppers, I'm actually in middle school." That should have been the end of the conversation. During the entirety of defendant's conversation with CV1, the conversations are largely sexual in nature. After learning that CV1 was a minor, defendant told the CV1, "But for real though, when we gonna meet? When we meet, you gonna be fucking all night." He said this shit to a 15-year-old girl. Defendant also told CV1, "I want to tie you where your hands are tied to your legs so I can fuck you and you can't move." Imagine, I want you to hear, listen, this is different. Don't get me wrong. I think that if he would have just been talking about casually meeting and you know, that would have been wrong too. But I want you to see, like, the terminology being used after he knows she's a 15-year-old girl. I want to tie you up. And so this is why I believe he killed her. I believe she made it to Vegas. I believe he did everything he wrote in this message. And I believe he killed her. So let's go ahead and continue. In another instance, defendant told CV1, "I need you to give me the best blowjob ever, though. I need some deep throat action. I want to fuck your throat. I'm coming in your mouth and sucking it out like a straw." And you're sucking it out like a straw. Keep in mind, yeah, he goes right into aggressive with a person he knows is a fucking child. This is the Matthew Nicholas Gerard dude. So what about video footage on buses? Well, there's more. There's definitely more. We're going to get to that. And then we're going to have to discuss, because there's definitely some shit that's missing. But let's get back to this, and we'll continue.
Or sightings. Now, there's a lot of parts that are moving with this case. We know that the FBI is involved. And
that's why I'm telling you, there's absolutely no chance, no way, no anything that this girl is still alive. I don't believe under any circumstances she's still alive. Now, there's some people that may be like, how do you know she's not just still with him? She's not just with him. That is possible, but what's the likelihood? It's been a month. If she was with him, you don't think he's killed her by now? You don't think by I mean, just be honest. He's seen all this. These guys, they just can't stop. Prison is too good for them. Yeah, no. I actually think that if you're a pedo, you should get the death penalty. I'm serious. Gigi says every week 8 to 12 minimum arrest of child sex crime nature. Some are, yeah. The chances are slim, unfortunately. Yeah, no, I think she's dead. Because in the beginning, if this was just happened like a week ago, I'd say she's probably still with him. What's up, Gabos? The beautiful Gabos is joining us. Is the FBI helping in the manhunt? I assume. There's no information I have showing that just yet. What's up, Robin? How you doing, beautiful? I think most people would freak if they knew how much this was going on all around us. Absolutely. And so I believe when it comes, I consider any person under 21 a child. Agreed. Wood chippers for chumos? Yes. So, like I said, if this was just a weekend, I'd say, well, maybe she's with him. But he's on the lam. Like, if you were in his position and you saw all this, you knew there was a manhunt, you knew someone else was already arrested, what would you do? I would assume since it was across the state lines, the FBI would be involved. That's probably, that makes sense. That makes the most sense, actually.
Coming up at 5, we'll hear from law enforcement expert Chris Bertram on what we can expect in the next stage of the investigation. I'll send it back to you.
That makes the most sense.
Thanks for that update tonight.
So there's another one. Let's see what we got here.
Good evening. Right now, police in Texas.
Texas is now joining the search for the teen. She's not going to be in Texas. She's not going to be in Texas. Her entire intentions was to go to Vegas to meet the other guy from Florida. I don't believe she's going to be in Texas at all. Cross state lines as trafficking. I agree, but I don't know if the fact that he wasn't actually trafficking like with her physically is going to be, I don't know how that's going to work, right? I don't know how the fuck this. I think she's dead anyway. I think in the end, we're going to find out he killed her. Probably out in the desert somewhere. Yeah. No, 100%. He got her out in Vegas, probably did exactly everything he said he was going to do in the text messages, and then said, oh shit, I probably need to kill this girl. I bet you almost anything that's what happened. Because if she was anywhere else, she would have done call, text. One bribe for anything, even a nude or a video, is trafficking. That's true. Yeah, that's true. Yeah, I think that's a good point. And they did. They exchanged nudes. That's why the other guy had child pornography. You don't have to be physically trafficked. That makes sense. That's why the other guy had child porn, because she was sending him videos and pictures. And same thing, I assume, is happening with this new guy.
Are joining the search for a Utah teen. Alisa Petrov had disappeared almost 3 weeks ago. And as new specialist Garna Mejia shows us, the FBI's Salt Lake City office is now involved with
100%. If he keeps her alive, he knows she's screwed. Here's the uncomfortable truth for everybody. And everybody's going to get upset when I say this. Dead men don't talk. Dead men don't talk. And even though that sounds horrific, it's the likely scenario here where he did this, he was with her, he committed the act of child molestation, and he said, dead men don't talk. Was she on the spectrum? I don't think so. Thank you for covering this. Nobody else is. It's an unfortunate story. I'm covering it because I'm very much so, children in this scenario matter. And I want this to be not a message to children, but to parents to stop letting your kids have social media and fucking iPads and fucking iPhones. Pay attention to what they do. Thanks, JB. Your insights on this story. I didn't know about this story. This is beyond ridiculous. There's a lot of sick individuals out there. Yeah. I agree completely.
A new tip.
Police in Texas are now assisting the search for a missing Utah teen, Alisa Petrov, considered an endangered runaway.
Exactly.
We are surprised.
Gigi.
We have no ties to Texas. We've been there once or twice, just passing by.
Police in Texas City, more than 1,500 miles from Utah, said they received a cyber tip yesterday from the National Center for Missing and Exploited Children, raising her parents' hopes.
If that's something that she could be there, we will be heading there looking for her.
None of that makes sense. Listen, none of that makes sense. There's no way she's in Texas. I mean, yes, that other guy was arrested in Texas, but no. And by the way, how has this girl traveled all across the country in today's world and where's the video and pictures? I hope you keep us, I'm definitely going to keep you updated on this story. Where are the videos and pictures? I'm afraid surveillance is everywhere. Every bus station. I can't believe there's no digital trail. Yeah. Every bus station, every train station. So every Greyhound, all of this shit. We have a major child predator bust right here where I live, 18 in one day. Damn. It makes no sense. And this is where shit's it shows the holes and gaps in our law enforcement. So what is the good in having all this surveillance where we live in a 1985, 84 society, if we can't even use the surveillance to actually stop, there should be a trail here. This is a 15-year-old girl that has traveled through multiple states on her own. How is that even possible? Parents need to keep their kids on social media. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Thank you, Linda. Appreciate you so much. If she showed up in Vegas, there's videos. There's videos everywhere in Vegas. Everything in Vegas. I've lived in Vegas 4 times. You can't go anywhere without being under surveillance in Vegas. Matthew said, why do all the fathers let the mothers do all the talking? Yeah, they're kind of cucked. I agree with you. Blurry face. 2 at our Little League baseball fields. Wow, that's where they went to meet the online minor. Yeah, that's crazy. What's up, Richie Rich? Thank you. I hope all is well with you.
I have a good confirmation that was a legit tip yet. It will be great if she's there. At least she surfaced somewhere, right? Because we didn't hear from her for almost 3 weeks now.
Alisa has been missing since April 21st. She was last seen in Provo. UTA cameras captured her getting off the train.
They said most likely it was the same white SUV that they saw her talking to, and then she was gone within 5 minutes.
And
what? Hold on. So she gets off in Provo, and this is the last time she's seen on camera.
They said most likely it was the same white SUV that they saw her talking.
Hold on. Let me rewind.
Hear from her for almost 3 weeks now.
Alisa has been missing since April 21st. She was last seen in Provo. UTA cameras captured her getting off the train.
Okay.
They said most likely it was the same white SUV that they saw her talking to, and then she was gone within 5 minutes.
So they believe that she got into a white SUV?
And if the 15-year-old is watching this, her parents want her to know they are desperate to find her.
Our family is not complete without her.
Yeah, I know what you're saying.
We love you a lot. We really want you back.
And tonight, you guys, as we mentioned, we are still waiting for information from the South Jordan Police Department. They're leading out in that investigation, and we're trying to get more details on what exactly that tip entailed.
No, I don't know if cartels got her. I think the culprit is my man right here, Matthew Menard. Matthew Menard, by the way, in case you see this, Matthew, I don't give a fuck. Sue me. Sue me, motherfucker. My perspective on this is simple. He was sending the Chomo messages along with the other fella, different. They don't even know each other. He told her to meet her in Vegas. She gets on, she runs away, she goes to meet her in Vegas, to him in Vegas. I think she made it to Vegas. I think she got dropped off at Provone or whatever the fuck that's at. I think the Chomo came and picked her up, potentially in the white SUV, I don't know. Or she got another ride, and maybe she got another ride and got, shit happens when you're hitchhiking and shit. But I believe the fact that this guy is still on the run, has to make him the number one suspect. And as long as this guy's on the run, I think there's going to be reasons. Because let me make this clear. This girl is missing. If this guy just was in trouble for like some text messages and shit, you don't think that when people like myself and other people think this girl is dead? Listen, if I was Matthew Menard, I would call right now and say, look, bro, I never saw the girl. I've got proof I never saw the girl. Or whatever. If I was Matthew Menard, knowing that this could potentially be a homicide, and all I was in trouble for was some fucking Chomo text, no, he's on the run. I personally, if I didn't kill the girl, put the pic back up. That's right. If I didn't kill the girl, there you go, Amanda. Robin said, fucking weird ass parents, she may still be with him. Yeah, that is possible. So I'm just saying, like you said, JB, Vegas has tons of cameras. Eventually, knock on wood, he will get caught. Yeah. He was the one that has 2 lawyers but hasn't turned himself in. Yeah, he's the one that is not turned in. He's the one that's not, the other guy got arrested quick. The Texas guy got arrested. This is the Miami guy that was going to vacation and that was going to on a work trip to God damn it, why did my chat go off? Give me a second. On a work trip to Vegas. I should fix it. There we go. This thing didn't stop working, did it? No, we're still good. We're still there. So no, that's who this guy is. Matthew Menard.
What the nature of it was, as soon as we have that information, we will let you know. I'll send it back to you, Dee.
Oh, so worrisome for them.
So we got this shit. All right, so taking a look here, we got the Florida man, and I showed you guys a little bit of the affidavit. Here's what we got. Florida man charged with sexually exploiting teen. This is the guy. A Florida man was charged Friday, so he has officially been charged with engaging in sexually explicit conversations with that Utah teen. Matthew Nicholas Menard is charged in the 4th District County with 2 counts of aggravated sexual exploitation of a minor, a first-degree felony, plus enticing a minor, and 3 counts of criminal solicitation, Class A misdemeanors. In April, investigators discovered that, in fact, why don't we do this? Why don't we see, okay, let me go ahead and Google this and see, or let me go to Grok. Let's find out what that charge carries in the state of Florida. How much time does carry in Florida. Has Matthew Menard been found? Let's see. Misdemeanor. Yeah, the other ones are misdemeanors. So all right. Is not explicitly defined as a standalone offense under that exact terminology. However, based on the context provided, okay, let's see here. See? I don't think he's looking at that much fucking time here. That's why I say if she wasn't dead, first degree felony in Utah. Oh, it's in Utah. Okay. If it's similar, okay. Classified as a first degree felony in Utah. He was charged in Utah. How much time is he facing in Utah? I don't see how that could be possible. This has to be a Fed case. Let's see how much time. Penalty. 5 years in prison to life? Is that what that shit said? Holy shit. I've never seen no shit like that. That shit says 5 years to life. Hold on. What the fuck is going on with the chat over here? What the fuck is happening with all this shit? Shit is fucking wild. I'm getting it fixed. My apologies. Technical difficulties out the ass. It seems dropping frames. Sorry about that. What the fuck? Am I back? Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what the fuck's going on. It's good now? Yeah. All right, good. We're back. All right, so what I was saying is, shit. If it's saying that, did you guys see the part where it said that he was facing 5 years to life? Did you see that part? So that's what it says, that for that crime, he's facing 5 years to life. I personally, if I didn't kill her, I would immediately come forward. Because I wouldn't want people thinking that I'd killed her. Like that, like this little 5 years you may fuck around and get for the text message bullshit, which is still chomo shit, still horrible, but that's nothing compared to the fact that most of us believe she's dead. I'm going to say it. Why are the parents' emotions so calm? That's just true crime people shit. That, in my opinion, that's true crime people shit. When you start reading the parents and hating Steve Gonsalves and all of that, so now are we going to blame the parents? Is that where we're going with this? Oh, man, and someone agrees with you because they're on a newscast. Oh, man. I agree. I would be livid too, but they probably are in real life. They probably are in real life. You see what I'm saying? But they probably got it together for Let me give a shout out to Brian, who sent another 20. He said you're spot on about the guy on the run. Thank you so much, bro. Thank you, man. Appreciate you, bro. Very much so. I think that is the truth. Thank you, Brian. Should they be hysterical and shitting their pants on camera? Exactly. Clearly, they're on the camera. They're to tell their story. No, I hear you turn the page. They're on camera. They're trying to tell their story. They probably do all the fucking panicking and crying and the real emotions behind the scenes. You know what I mean? Because it's kind of a no-win situation. It's kind of like, well, use Steve Gonsalves as an example. When you come out aggressive, everybody criticizes you. But then if you come out quiet and professional and just trying to tell the story, You see what I'm saying? People say you're too calm. Remember how earlier I said no matter what road people take, when the public is looking at it, they're gonna judge it no matter what. There's no right way to grieve. I agree. Blurry Faces, I think the parents have seen some real shit from where they come from and probably more focused on communicating in clear English. That's another great point. Damned if they do, damned if they don't. Yeah, 100%. So, thank you so much, by the way, Brian. And Upgrade. You guys are fucking awesome, man. Awesome. Appreciate you very much so. So, yeah, I don't know what happened with the thing. I think it's because I have it in 1080p. I should have started streaming like I normally do. I don't know how long it went down before, a second ago. So, I assume everybody's heard what I said about the sentencing that Matthew was facing. It's 5 to life when they eventually find him. Anyways, what's up, Chloe? In April, investigators discovered that a 15-year-old Utah County girl had been talking with Menard on social media. At one point, Menard asked the girl, we talked about the text earlier. Despite knowing her age, he continued to talk to her, sexual in nature. Over the course of several months, well, by the way, he discussed meeting up with the girl in Vegas. Over the course of several months, corresponded with the teen for the purpose of soliciting sex, sodomy, child abuse material from the minor. He discussed in graphic detail his intent to sexually abuse the child. That's what they pretty much got. Prosecutors have requested a no bail arrest. A no bail arrest warrant be issued. So when he finally is arrested, it looks like there's going to be essentially no bail. Said the parents did their best to keep daughter 15 safe, but pedophiles still found a way. So here's kind of a little bit more on this. They monitored her phone, checked all of her messages, and taught the inquisitive and social teenager to be careful around strangers. Alisa, who never spent a night without her parents, so they were pretty strict, and I like that. Which shows you right here, it can happen no matter how strict you are with the kids. She had never went sleeping anywhere else without the parents. She'd never slept over anywhere. And then obviously suddenly ran away. What her parents didn't know, it says, is that the 15-year-old had dug an ancient long iPad out of a dusty box and hidden it in her dresser. Under the noses, 2 men allegedly slid into her Instagram DMs and spent months grooming the child. Their conversations growing more disturbing by the day. Olga told DailyMail.com the iPad was so well hidden that she and her husband missed it when they searched their house for clues after she didn't come home. The secret device was only found when police rummaged through the suburban home about 32 miles from Salt Lake City. Said we usually check her phone and there was nothing suspicious. Everything seemed to be normal, just classmates, neighbors. We never thought she could be talking to strangers in that way. Yes, of course she can. I guess she had her own money, maybe from chores. I don't think she had any. To be honest. Maybe a little bit, maybe. This is going to be why. Once again, I don't understand. I understand people want to be the cool parents. I just don't understand what good could come out of your daughter having Instagram at 15 years old. Parents seem weird, says Upgrade. Well, I mean, they're just foreign, right? They're foreign. Whoever bought the ticket needs to be charged too. Yeah. Why they have Texas City marked? They think she could be there. Yeah. Well, and we'll get back. Yeah, because one of the other guys was arrested in Texas. She was talking to two different strangers, not related to each other. So here's the series of events, the timeline. Number 1, Canyon Grove Academy. She was dropped off at school. Number 2, she skips class and buys supplies, convinces a man to give her a lift. That man gave her a lift to American Fork train station. She gets on train out of town. She goes to the Provo train station, still in Utah, gets off train and asks people for help getting to Las Vegas. This is the last time. Those are literally what's known about that shit. Now, when you're taking a look at the map here, Las Vegas. So here was the plan. He was going to fly to LAX from Miami. He was going to meet her in Vegas on his work trip. They were then going to fly home to his Miami home, and I guess she's going to live there. Now, the second alleged pedophile in Texas, William Glines, he was unrelated having these conversations with the girl. You see what I'm saying? It's like she was having these conversations with multiple pedophiles, is the point. Oh, great, I thought so. I realized the language is different. I didn't mean to seem judgmental, parent. No. Turn the page. It's all right. It's all right. I don't know. I think my personal opinion is that when people are dealing with trauma, you never know how they're going to fucking act. You know what I mean? Because you may see me and say, well, I think JB would be wild. But if I'm trying to get a message out via the media, I'm going to try to be calm. You know what I mean? And especially if your daughter did run away and you're hoping she comes home, like that's your hope. You don't want to scare her. You know what I'm saying? Like, in my opinion, I don't know though. I don't know. Maybe they are creepy. Maybe they're just foreign and creepy. I don't know. I hope she's still alive with the pedophile on the run. Yeah, I hope so too. Can't you just check into using your Wi-Fi? Like how many devices are logging in? Parents are, yeah, I think so. I think they can. But I don't think she's logging into shit. And that's the scary thing. She doesn't have money. I don't think. She's not logging into shit. I mean, she's 15. How much money could she have? She's not logging into shit. There's no digital trace, and right now, there's no other video footage or anything like that. She got to live for the patrol, but right, exactly. Got someone to buy the ticket to get her to Salt Lake. Yeah. That's exactly right, Pixie. So, Olga said the device was about 8 years old, first generation iPad Pro. They only kept because they had old family photos and soon forgot they still owned it. Sickening police files detailed how the alleged pedophile slowly gained Alisa's trust and convinced her to send them nude photos. He was probably sending her money. She's got a couple $100, I believe. That makes sense. She's probably got a little something. Here's the thing, though. I feel like if he was sending her money like Venmo and Cash App, shit like that, I think that would be tracked and people would know. It would already be discussed. I think that she probably did have a little bit when she had initially left. I think it's very possible. Robin said, if I was approached by a teenager asking for help, get out of the way, yeah, I would have called the police too. There's no way. I think whoever bought her the ticket needs to go to jail. If you help a child run away from home, I think you need to go to jail. If a child runs away to your home and you house the child, I think you need to go to jail. If you engage in helping a child run away from home in any way, I think you need to go to jail. Truly. It's a disgusting act. Eventually, one of them, identified as Matthew Menard, arranged to meet her in Vegas. We had talked about that, and then fly home to Miami, where he allegedly planned to do unspeakable acts. I'm sure he's already done unspeakable acts. I don't think they ever made it. I think they met in Vegas, and I think he killed her. I 100% think she was spotted on surveillance making a purchase at a local gas station before boarding the train. I think wholeheartedly she, You know, he's the picture that everybody's showing. But that's the guy. I think she ended up meeting him in Vegas and he ended up killing her. That's just my take. So I'm going to end that portion of the show with, I will, of course, keep you guys updated. It's a hideous fucking horrendous fucking situation that I think we're going to end up seeing that she's dead. So I'm going to ask you guys, dead or alive? She's still, it would. I agree with you, Pixie. I would much rather her just be with the chomo getting, I would much rather that be the situation than what I think happened. I think she's dead. So curious what you guys think, dead or alive? Of course, I will stay, updating this case. Unfortunately, I believe she is dead. We got some deads. We do got an enhanced says alive. $50,000 reward, by the way. Yes, there is a $50,000 reward. I'm afraid she's probably not on this planet anymore. Yeah. I think so, and it's unfortunate. No doubt about that. I do want to remind you guys that tonight, we'll let you know, tonight I'm going to once again be debating him, dead, but always hope for the best until you can't. I agree. Yeah, of course. Keeping hopes up she's alive. Absolutely. Yeah, I hope so too. I do. Tonight I will be at 5:45. I'll be for about an hour or two over here. Debating, or not even debating, discussing the 8 hours. I'll be over there. Brian says dead, but can always hope for the best. Christine says dead from the sexual violence. Yeah, I'll be on Harsh tonight. We're going to discuss the 8 hours. Thank you for your coverage on this. Oh, no problem. I'm going to try. And I noticed not everybody's covering it. The only person that I saw that covered it was Grizzly True Crime. You should stream Harsh Show on your channel. Oh, I'll react to it tomorrow. Parents are 3 weeks into this. The panic is probably, and that's the key, Linda. It has to be. The panic is probably gone and reality has set in. They're just numb and could be medicated to deal with the situation. Yeah, that's another thing too. I don't think she's dead yet. So you guys think she's with the guy? With no money, let's be honest. She has to be with someone or dead. Like she has to be with an adult or dead. At 15 years old, and we could get shocked. Anybody could have picked her up and killed her. Anybody could have picked her up and did whatever. We just assume it's the two chomos she was talking to. Well, this particular chomo. Wouldn't be surprised at all if she's still with him. That's very dangerous for that guy. That's very dangerous for that guy. I want to get into something real quick. And I want to get into something. I'm gonna go smoke, but I want to show you guys this video, and then when I come back, we're going to talk about it. I do, but when it comes to that case, I'll keep you updated, and I hope everything works out. But my gut feeling is that guy, Matthew Menard, killed the girl. That's my gut feeling. I started off the show talking about the Steve Gonsalves getting his Facebook back, which I think I'm happy with. I'm a free speech absolutist. Grief does hit everybody differently, Gobbles. I agree. Absolutely. I'm a free speech absolutist. He did get his Facebook page back. And all I got to say, and I'm going to show you something else, is why is no one critiquing the other parents that are wanting money, that are raising money to get to the trial? The Mogans have raised $47,000. And last night we got this shit that dropped, which is kind of weird because they all live in the same area. This is Cornoto's mom I'm going to play this. I'm going to go smoke, and I'm going to be right back.
The mother of one of the 4 University of Idaho students murdered in November of 2022 is asking for financial help so she can attend the trial of Brian Kohberger.
Fox 13 Shira Matsuzawa is joining us with Xana Kernodle's mom, is what she's saying and how you can help.
A friend of Xana's mom, Kara, started a GoFundMe earlier this week to make sure Kara can make the 400-mile journey from North Idaho, where she lives, to Boise, where Brian Kohberger's trial is scheduled to happen this summer. It's been more than 2 years since the world lost these 4 bright lights: Xana Kernodle, Ethan Chapin, Madison Mogen, and Kaylee Gonzalez. And this summer, the trial for the man accused of killing the 4 University of Idaho students, Brian Kohberger, is expected to get underway in Boise, Idaho.
She's hurt, and all of these families are hurt.
To make sure Xana's mom, Kara, can attend the trial, which is slated to last upwards of 3 months, her friend, Lori Scott, started this GoFundMe.
Everybody had people raising money for them, and I just noticed that she hadn't asked for anything.
In a statement, Kara said, "The loss of my beautiful daughter, Xana, has been the hardest thing I never thought I would have to endure. If you are not able to donate, prayers are even more appreciated. My hope is that truth and justice through God will be accomplished."
And even though I've lost my child, I can't imagine losing a child in the way that she has, even more than me. And I just wanted to make it so she could be there for the trial, because that's important, that she be able to see for herself that justice is being served in this.
Lori told Fox 13 Xana's mom has been blown away by the support.
She's just really sweet and appreciative. The people that are donating for this are actually the heroes. They're helping her get there, and it means the world to her. It really means the world to her.
Lori tells me the ultimate goal is to raise $50,000.
I do think that because she was a user, she didn't want to ask. I do believe that. I do believe that all of these parents should be there. But the ungodly amounts that they're asking for, I don't think this trial's starting this summer either. I think 100% they're going to continue the case. I believe this trial won't start this summer. Maybe another year, says Gobbles, which will continue to drag this out. Dateline shit really didn't do favors to the tragedy. No, I agree. I believe 1,000%, 1,000% that this trial will be continued, and we won't see it in 2025. And people will say, well, the Dateline didn't do that much damage. I think it did. I'm glad Kara's doing well, says Dope Soul, and getting her life together. Yeah, I think that's awesome if that's what she's doing. I do think it's awesome. I think these parents have been through enough. And so it would be easy for me to come out here and make the dope fiend jokes and shit like that. It would be very easy for me to do that. But I'm going to be honest. I think these parents have had enough. I think they've dealt with enough. And even though I wouldn't give money to Kara, whatever her name is, I truly feel like if other people do want to give her money, or Steve Gonsalves money, or Maddie Mogen family money, that's on them, bro. That's on them. The way I see it, their children's lives were priceless, and so it doesn't matter how much money they make. Exactly. Yeah. I have to agree. And the reality is that this is going to be a long trial. If you're going to go and be there every single day, you're going to need to be in a hotel there every single day. You're going to have to be there in a hotel somewhere every single day. Dateline used propaganda and fear to fuck with the jury selection. I don't know if they did that. The porn searches were irrelevant. I agree it's kind of irrelevant, the porn searches. But if you have the information, why wouldn't you tell it? I don't blame Dateline for them telling the fucking story if they have an inside source that told them the story. I don't blame Dateline at all. Dateline's not under a gag order. Dateline can say what the fuck they want to say. Dateline, as long as they're not fabricating shit, just making it up, Yeah, I mean, you can't get mad at the news for newsing. You know what I mean? Gobble says, like myself, I just lost everything and anything. I need to run my ranch from the barn fire. My nephew wanted to start a GoFundMe. I said, no, people think I've got endless funds. Yeah. No, I hear you there, Gobbles. And you might need to do that. Absolutely. I definitely understand. Yeah, no, I didn't want to tell your story because I was going to wait till you told it. But yeah, no, Gobbles just lost fucking a lot. A lot. So definitely sorry. Definitely it's rough to hear. What's up, Erica? How you doing, beautiful? Hope you're doing well. Pixie says, of course you can't keep coming and going. It's got to be heroin to listen to the details. Absolutely.
Those funds will cover any and all of Kara's expenses as she takes off from work and relocates from North Idaho to Boise during the duration of the trial. Now, the families of Kaylee Gonzalez and Madison Mogen also have a GoFundMe, and we'll have links to all of them at fox13seattle.com. But we also want to take a moment and acknowledge that today is Madison Mogen's birthday. Her loved ones have deemed it Maddie May Day. It's a day dedicated to spreading kindness in her honor. And on Facebook, the Gonzalez family said Maddie is the funniest, most genuine, kind-hearted, and loving person. They went on to say they love her and miss her more every day. In the newsroom, Shira Matsuzawa, Fox 13 News.
Jury selection is scheduled for July 30th with
I mean, she might have got her shit together, though, Christine. She might have a job. She might be doing really good, over $500,000 worth of things to run my ranch. I don't even have hammer and nails. It was tragic. Fire department says it was a catastrophic loss. Hopefully that insurance shit comes through. It should. It should. You know how insurance companies are. It's all fucking kinds of red tape, man. All kinds of goofy shit. Yeah, no, it was a horrible looking fire. It was definitely a horrible looking fire. 100%. Like, it was horrible.
Workers' trial expected to start on August 11th.
I don't know if we're going to see this trial on August 11th. And listen, I don't have a problem with these people raising money. I genuinely don't. You know, Steve has raised $80,000. The Mogen fundraiser has done $46,000. I don't see a fucking problem with this. I know a lot of people have a problem with it. 3 years ago, an insurance fucked us hard. Damn, semi-wrecked into our restaurant 3 years ago. Damn. Yeah, now this is what the insurance is shitty. But so I don't see any problem with the parents trying to get to the trial. Because look, man, it is going to be several months of a trial. Insurance isn't your friend once you have a claim like this. Plus, they are canceling my insurance. Damn. They better pay you the fuck out first. I mean, I get it. Yeah, I know they're not your friend. They're going to try to get over on you in some way. There's no question. All insurance companies are complete trash. I don't either, JB. They lost their kids. Yeah, I don't mind them trying to get to, because think about it. If you're the parents, wouldn't you want to be at the trial? Which means, yeah, you're gonna have to take off work. That's 8 hours. I mean, that's 9 o'clock in the morning, essentially till 5 o'clock at night, every single day. They shouldn't be allowed to be canceled after all you paying you through the years. Well, it's gonna be a hell of a payout. I mean, I think it's going to be a hell of a payout, knowing what she's lost. It's going to cost them. And that's probably why they are canceling her insurance. She's like, they know they're going to have to pay out. And they're like, nah, fuck this. They're like, fuck this. Yeah, insurance companies are definitely con artists. Do a claim with banking and insurance state commission 2 gobbles. There you go. Jenks got some shit. There you go. Absolutely. It's probably a good idea. Probably a good idea. So when it comes to the whole Idaho 4 thing, I'll just say this, I think I understand everybody's either a guilter or a not guilter. But I think people have become so fucking mean with this case. People are mean to other people that don't have the same opinions as them. People are mean to the families of this case. They always have been. People are just this case where you guys don't, none of us know anyone involved in this case has made people fucking mean. I'm hoping it doesn't happen with the missing Utah girl, but I'm sure it will. And listen, I'm not always friendly when discussing a case, but it is to say I don't understand why people are so attached to any of these cases that they genuinely hate the people that don't think like them, that see things differently, that have a different, perspective. Why is this case split this community so badly? Well, I think a lot of cases do, but particularly this one. It sure brought out all the tars for sure. Yeah. Like, I've never seen it before. Shit like OJ and shit, that's different though. Because that's racial shit. That's, racial shit's different. It usually stokes division and split and animosity. When you're talking about something like this, though, I don't understand it. This isn't politics. This isn't racial. This is literally somebody killed for college kids. Like, I don't understand how you can hear another person say, well, I don't think he's guilty, or I think he's guilty. How either of them statements can, infuriate other human beings. I don't fucking get it. Yeah, I think there's police misconduct. OJ got out because, yeah, exactly. So, when it comes to, it's so weird to me, though. And it happens on all, guilters really hate the fucking people that think, guilters hate people that believe in guilt, innocent until proven guilty, and innocent until, it's some weird thing. And everyone thinks the other side is fucking stupid. Everyone, and it's one of the most funny things because you begin to see the narcissism that's in people. You begin to see, not just that, the inflated egos of some people. If you don't think just like I think about it, the results or of this case, then you're a fucking idiot. It's weird to me. When you got a bunch of Karens and snack cakers, is bound to happen. That's not valid. Me too. This case has been the worst in a long time. It has been. There are certain cases that's brought out the people. There's some case. I'm going to be honest with you. Anytime you have a polarizing case, it's going to create two different sides. But I've never seen any case, not the Brian Laundrie case, not the fucking Casey Anthony. I've never seen a case that has the audience so, the community so ready to fucking kill each other. Jenks says, I just don't want to see another... See Another If I Did It by Brian Koberger? Yes, I 100% understand. I think the tearing down of the house is a little sketchy. Of course it is. Of course it is. I mean, it's not sketchy. It was just a bad decision. But here's the truth. What's up, Tracy? Both the prosecution and the defense agreed to it. So all the people like the pro-burgers and shit, it's you can't say it's a conspiracy when your side agreed to it. Yeah, I think his rights have been violated. But do you see what I'm saying? So when we're looking at something like the tearing down of the house, who exactly are you mad at? Because the prosecution and defense said, yeah, do it. Tear that motherfucker down. We can't get mad about the gag order because both the prosecution and the defense said, yeah, let's do the gag order. A lot of the things that people are up in arms about, they forget that both sides are doing it. The jury isn't going to be taken on a 5-hour field trip there either. That's true. I think the house should have stood up, should have stayed up. If Nicole hadn't come to the door with that knife and all that mouth, she'd be, yes. That's true. Yeah, so he's going to fire his attorneys right before trial, getting new attorneys to want to retest the crime scene. That would be maybe smart. Because I think it's clear to me Koberger's not in a hurry to go to trial, which is a reason I kind of side-eye him a little bit. It's another reason. Like, I don't know, bro. If I was in this, I'd want to get the fuck up out of here. So it's another thing. I'm not bad. I think it's odd because the SK here had multiple bodies buried in the house and that bitch was sold recently. What? Demon dog, but I'd rather see him walk free than his rights trampled. Yeah, I'm very much so a constitutional rights type of guy. I don't want our law enforcement being able to do underhanded tactics or anything corrupt while he's sitting there dressed like a Mormon youth pastor. Hey, you know, yeah, the house should have been kept. After all, they took it. But after all they took out, it was a structural hazard. Yeah, I guess it is possible. I don't know, man. There are things that we're all going to look back on. Like the 8, you know, there's a lot of things that I think can mean something. There's a lot of things that don't. For instance, the 8 hours I'm going to be discussing tonight with Harsh. It could mean something. It could not mean anything. You know what I mean? In GB, we don't have freedom of speech. It's becoming a dictator. Yeah, Great Britain. Yeah. Far cry from his badass Britney bitch, black hoodie selfies. Yeah, it is. Well, it's because he's got to look different in court anyway, you know. But, you know, to be perfectly honest, man, yeah, I don't think this has been a fair trial. Well, let me rephrase that. I don't think this has been a well-run trial, but I think the same thing about Delphi. I think the Delphi trial was run like shit. I don't understand nothing but conspiracy theories. Yeah, I don't understand how these big major trials can have so many flaws in them. I just don't. Maybe because they're happening in small towns. I guess that's possible. I guess it is possible. I don't think the surviving roommates have anything to do with it. I don't think so either. Which leads to what I was saying. The roommate thing could mean something or it could not mean something. You know, and tonight that's pretty much going to be the way I go with Harsh. There could be some fucked up shit with the 8 hours, but it doesn't mean it's connected to the crime at all. I think the 8 hours mainly means that Dylan and Bethany just didn't know how to react and handled it poorly. Yeah. Or they didn't know that maybe they just casually, I agree with you. It could be that. But it also could be a situation where they just didn't see the bodies. It could possibly be that. Now, it's easy for us to say, yeah, they had to have. But maybe they didn't. They probably didn't want to guard it, the house from people trying to get souvenirs. Yeah. What's up, Scott? I do want to say thank you to everybody that hit the tip jar today. Thank you to everybody that didn't. I'm going to try to be here more every day. Try to be here with you guys every day around here as long as we got something to talk about, something to stream about. Like I said, tomorrow I'll probably be reviewing the Harsh. So if you don't get a chance to go watch the Harsh thing tonight for whatever reason, don't worry, because I'll react to it here tomorrow, much like I did the last Harsh one. It won't be as long either because I don't have that long. I got many streams and many videos to make. I'll probably hang with him for an hour or so. Probably no longer than that. So, but we will discuss the 8-hour theory, or the 8 hours, and some of the theories with this. My position, here's a spoiler. I don't think the 8 hours means anything other. The worst thing it can mean, if you want to know my honest opinion, the absolute worst thing that the 8 hours can mean is that they were getting rid of some shit they didn't want there when the police got there. Worst case scenario, is they were just getting rid of drugs. But I do not think that the roommates had anything to do with it. I do not think anything like that. I don't think Dylan or Bethany had them set up or, worst case scenario is they were just getting rid of some drugs. We mean or the knife. So you're suggesting they have something to do with it. You think Dylan's a killer. You know what I'm saying? Like, okay. I really don't either, JB. Just shows their ignorance of the real world thing. Yeah, I think so. They're college kids. I think it's very possible. They would be in that house if they set it up. Yeah, I agree with you. Linda says those girls were drunk, hungover, and kids text communicate all the time. No one checked on them because she thought they were passed out. And I agree with that. I think that's a very likely scenario, that they just thought the other ones were passed out. And, I think that's just my conspiracy theories. Oh, yeah. You just made it up. You just made it all the way. You just made it completely up, brother. I think they were getting rid of the knife. Any reason? No, I had a honey bun, and you know how it is. You have a honey bun, the next thing you know, you know what I'm saying? So they were under 21, sobering up. Probably worst case scenario, they were thinking if they called, they'd be arrested for underage drinking. That's also a possibility, blurry face. They flushed the toilet knife down. Guys, I want to say thank you. Thank you to those who hit the tip jar. Thank you to those that didn't. If you're watching this on the replay and you want to support the channel, if you want me to do more lives over here, that's the way to do it. That's the way to do it. Dope Soul said, I had honey bun. See what I'm saying? Next thing you know, Dope Soul's going to have a conspiracy. She's like, the minute she eats the honey bun, she starts to shake. And she's like, green cars everywhere. They're the culprit. Oh, shit, tunnels. Yeah, you don't want to do it. You don't want to do it. Leave the snack cakes alone. Love you guys. I will see you next time. Thank you. Thank you, Texas. The power of the snack cake compels you. No, I appreciate you guys, man. And I will keep you updated on the missing girl and everything else. I'll see you guys tomorrow. Drop the cakes, bitch. Drop the cakes. Put your hands up.